There are some people who think coaching duties only take place during the actual season the sport is being played. However, that is far from the reality of coaching. In this lecture, I will be discussing year-round coaching duties. There are many duties a coach must address in the preseason. Like in previous lectures, these duties will vary by organization and coaching level. Some of these duties include completing the necessary applications and contracts for employment, providing copies of licensure for all coaches to the athletic director, attending preseason coaches meetings and rule clinics so you can be aware of any rule changes affecting your sport and/or organization. Make sure you understand and review the school district's policies and ask questions if need be. Make sure to do an accurate inventory of all equipment and uniforms to ensure you are prepared when the season begins. Also in the preseason, you must ensure all student athletes have physicals and submit the correct paperwork. You can also use this time to recruit athletes to your program. You must also screen all athletes for eligibility. You should conduct a parent-athlete meeting to ensure they understand the risk associated with the sport, as well as your expectations for the season. This is a good time to have your players sign code of conduct and emergency contact forms. During the preseason players meeting, you can also distribute player handbooks, set goals for the upcoming season, and hand out the preseason conditioning practice schedule. This is also a good time to look at your budget, arrange preliminary travel for competitions, and other administrative duties that may arise. During the season, it is still not all about the X's and O's. As a coach, you may still have various administrative duties to see to as well. You will need to monitor your student athletes' grades and academic progress to ensure their eligibility. You will also need to supervise your student athletes' use of equipment and facilities. This may include frequent equipment checks, especially in sports like football. You will need to help with fundraising efforts. These are usually done through a booster club in the early part of the season and may even start in the preseason. You will need to finalize travel plans and communicate with school officials when your student athletes will be absent. You will need to maintain equipment and the facility, as well as assist home contest facility management with the hiring of officials, cleanup crews, and safety monitors. You will also need to keep track of records and other statistics relevant to your sport. You will also need to be your program's promoter and address and resolve any issues that may arise within your program. Now the actual coaching duties during the season. These are the tasks that most people associate with the coaching profession. These duties include, but are definitely not limited to, the following: delegating responsibilities to your coaching staff in order to use their strengths to better the team. Hold tryouts and select your team. Sometimes this is the hardest part of coaching because you will most likely hurt someone's feelings. You will need to adequately assess your players' talents and skills so you can teach and develop them into better players. You also need to develop effective practice and conditioning schedules so your athletes are as ready for competitions as they possibly can be. During competitions, you will need to call the plays and have strategies in place for any possible game situation. Lastly, you need to ensure the safety and well-being of all your athletes in your program, even if this means suffering a loss. At the completion of the season, your coaching duties do not stop. You will need to complete and submit any required paperwork to your athletic director. You will also need to collect all equipment and uniforms issued to your players throughout the season. Then complete and submit an inventory of equipment to your athletic director. You will also need to clean your facility and locker room and hold player meetings. This is a good time to discuss the things they did well throughout the season and those skills you want them to work on for next season. If your player is done playing, you can use this meeting to help them with their advancement, whether that be playing in college or obtaining a job. Most programs have a postseason banquet. It is generally up to the head coach to plan this event and purchase awards. The postseason is the time to evaluate your coaching staff and you to be evaluated too. You are never done learning in the coaching profession, and evaluations can show you what you need to work on in order to help benefit the program in the future. Other duties include meeting with the Booster Club, re-evaluating your budget and fundraising efforts, developing next season's schedule, and putting together the off-season practice and conditioning schedule. This schedule often includes camps or various summer leagues. Coaching is more than just X's and O's. It takes many months of planning, teaching, and competing for an organization to be successful. That is why year-round coaching is so important.